Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A video answers type of video, answering your guys' questions. This one is like number 44 or something, leading up to The Walking Dead Season 6. So I'm wondering if next year I could beat that, like 44 or 45 Q&As leading up to the next season. But next year we're going to get 15 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead next summer. So that's going to be awesome. So I'm really excited for that as well, too, because I have been enjoying. I'm just getting ready kind of now for the episode. You guys are probably watching this. I think I'll schedule this for Tuesday or Wednesday. But I'm actually filming this just before episode 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. So I'm really excited for it. I can't wait to see it. I've been enjoying it so far. You know, it's definitely, I would say, not on the same level as the original Walking Dead, but it's definitely something nice to tide us over in between, I think. So great stuff. So got lots of awesome questions from you guys. Continue to send me all your questions, and I'm sure once The Walking Dead Season 6 starts, there'll be probably thousands more. So if you have any questions you want me to answer in a Q&A before that time comes, it's better to ask now than to anything you've been wondering, want to hear my opinion on something. Ask now rather than waiting until the season starts, because once it starts, there's going to be so many, so it's going to be crazy. Okay, first question is from Marcus Doig, and he says, "Hey Trev, love the videos, man. Just wondering if in a Q&A you could tell us about other comic books you enjoy reading other than The Walking Dead. Thanks, man, and keep up the great work." So you guys know most of the TV series that I like aside from The Walking Dead, which ones I watch, I review, that kind of thing. I review most of the stuff that I watch as far as TV shows go, except for maybe The Strain and stuff like that, because not that many people watch it. But, most of the ones I watch, I do reviews for at some point in time. For comic books, I don't really do many comic book related videos anymore. I do love to read comic books, man. I'm telling you, I just absolutely love it. It's something I really, really enjoy. I like picking up the trades, individual issues. I don't know, because the thing is with that, you don't get that much of a story, and it's like $4 an issue, so it's quite a bit. So it is a little pricey, with comic books, but I do love to read Marvel, DC, Batman, probably my favorite character from your comic books. X-Men has always been good. Avengers is pretty good. Justice League is always good. And I like the big events when they do like a DC or Marvel event. But nothing that I can recommend to you to check out if you like The Walking Dead. There's really nothing else out there even close to being like it at all. Some people like the series Crossed. I don't even know if it's still out anymore. I've kind of lost touch with a lot of other comic books I used to read, like Batman every week or every month. I would read the new issues. It's been a while since I've done that, so it's been a bit. But you can never go wrong with the leading selling titles in Batman and Avengers, and that is always good if you like comic books. But nothing I can really recommend to you that's on the same level as The Walking Dead. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, and some of you guys too, I'm sure, because there are a lot of people that love those other comic book series and read them and just really enjoy them. But for me, The Walking Dead is just at another level. When I read The Walking Dead, it's like I can take it seriously. I know it's not going to be re-released in a month with a new writer and everything's going to be undone. In Marvel and DC, you got characters like Batman, Wolverine, they get killed off, and it's like you just know when they're getting killed off. They're just going to bring them back in like a month or a year or something. They can't kill them off permanently. So that's why I like The Walking Dead so much. When it happens in The Walking Dead, it actually means something for the series, because they're not going to come back. Laurie's not coming back. Shane's not coming back. That's it. And that's what I like so much about it. It takes itself seriously, is what I'm saying, basically. Next question is from AJ Unlimited. He says, "Hey Trev, quick question. I was just wondering what you think. If you think we will see Rick's group go through winter in Season 6. I came to realize that there was a time skip between Seasons 2 and 3, as well as 3 and 4, which seemed to have skipped over the winter completely. However, there was no time skip between Seasons 4 and 5, and by the looks of the Season 6 trailer, there will not be one this season either." Yeah, you're right about that, I'm pretty sure. "We did see them dressed in sweaters and other fall-type clothing in the last few episodes of Season 5. So do you think there will be a Walking Dead winter? I think it'd be really cool to see. We haven't seen what a zombie apocalypse would be like under other kinds of circumstances, so I think they should do something like that. What do you think?" Well, we've talked about this before in the past. They can't, because the time they film is during that time of the year, and they can't switch it. If they wanted to switch it, they'd have to take a year off and skip a season and then come back, so it wouldn't be worth it to do that. I wouldn't want to see them take a year off just so I could see wintertime. I don't know about you guys. Richard, comments below on that one. Would you want to see them take an entire year off just so we could see a winner? I don't think so. I think most people would say no. So also, in addition to that, what we see in The Walking Dead, if there's a time period where it's peaceful and there's really nothing much going on, that's not the type of show it is. They won't show us a whole season of just characters peaceful living and maybe character drama in a community like a lot of regular shows are. Just kind of everything's fine and you're just seeing like kind of regular stuff, maybe some little drama, but that's about it. With The Walking Dead, they show us it's a horror show, so they show us the parts where they're really struggling to survive and when things are not going well. When things are going well, like at the prison between seasons, the end of 3 and the beginning of 4, when we had a time skip over the wintertime there, everything was pretty much good. It was 30 days without an accident. There was a lot of characters surviving. There wasn't too much going on there where characters were being killed. So they didn't show us that. They skipped it. So that's the formula they've gone with. I think they're always going to pretty much stick to that formula. I think it's a good formula. I think it makes sense because if there's nothing happening, there's really nothing to watch anyway. It'd just be kind of wasted episodes that aren't really, it's not true to the genre and to the nature of the show. So, you're right about that, but they kind of cram it in. Like, even though it's 6 years, The Walking Dead's been on for, it'd be 6 years after season 6. Even though that's the case, in terms of, zombie apocalypse time, it's only been like, I once said it was like 2.5 years, something like that. And people came back, they're like, no, it's not even that long. But yeah, there are some problems with it because they do wear heavier clothing during the, the later parts of the season. And then sometimes they'll switch back. There's kind of no way around it. It's just kind of what happens. And it's a TV show. It's not a movie. So, they're pretty meticulous with the details, but they can't be 100% perfect. And you don't really want people working all day without proper attire on, them getting sick, stuff like that. So, you got to let them wear what they need to wear in order to shoot the show. Yeah, so that's that. We got a few questions from Cheeseburger Dog Rules. he put some good ones. So let's go through at least one or two. He says, what do you think Robert Kirkman has planned for issue 150 since it's the last issue in trade 25 and a milestone trade and issue? They're most likely going to kill some main character off or something huge will happen. I agree with you. There should be something really big happening. We do have some survivors that are still around that have been around for a really long time, but I think that we may see 150 is a big issue, so it's not like a 100 issue or 200 issue where you might see a death of someone like Andrea, Michonne, Rick, one of the main big characters. But I do think for 150 we will see at least some smaller deaths. We maybe see a character like Eugene, characters like that they're big, but they're not one of those core survivors from the beginning. Those core survivors from the beginning, those are huge deaths. When you see, almost let a spoiler go there. You see, for people that haven't read the comic series, like one of the main casts from the first season or from the first issues of the book or first few trades, those are huge deaths. If they kill off Michonne, that would be like a 200 death or 300, which I'm starting to think we may actually see within the next while, because I'm not sure what he wants to do with her in the future. We've seen her do her thing a lot. So it'll be interesting to see. But for 150, I don't have any specific predictions for you right now. I'd have to think on it and go through the list of characters. But we should see somebody who's kind of a bigger character, but not one of the huge key characters, if you know what I mean. I think you guys get my flow there. Next one, he says, what do you think AMC would do if someone like Lenny James or even Andrew Lincoln died in an accident? Would they just have them disappear, or do you think they would do something like in Furious 7 where they completed the character storyline with CGI? I don't think they would have the time or budget for the CGI. They could do small things with CGI, but I don't think because they got to get the show done fast, whereas with a movie, that's funny, Fast and Furious, with the movie Fast and Furious 7, you have more time. They do have the release, but they can push movie dates back. They can focus on it. The editing has lots of time scheduled for it, and with a TV series, they have to get them done pretty quickly. They don't have that much time. 16 episodes every year, they got to get it done. So I would think mostly you'd probably be looking at either like off-screen death, off-screen something of the sort. Maybe a little bit of CG if they want to do some kind of death or something. But mainly you're probably looking at a disappearance if that ever happens. Hopefully it never will, but we'll see. You never know. And his last question was, how much ground do you think Season 6 will cover? Season 5 left off where the comics were at, the TV show began, so we're about halfway through the comics at this point. I think the wolves will cause the herd to get in Alexandria, and that the whole storyline will take up the first few episodes. Then they will add their own story for 605 to 608, and then I think the Hilltop storyline will go from 609 to 614, or with Negan being introduced and killing someone in the last episode of the season. Let me know your thoughts. Like this comment so Trev can see if you want to hear, if you want to know these questions too. So I think your timeline is too fast. I think that you've got Negan showing up sooner than he should. I think he's season 7, season 8 even, probably season 7 at some point. But yeah, right now I don't think we're going to see that. I'd be surprised if we saw him in season 6, or we saw, we may see some things alluding to him, but I don't think we're going to see him himself. And yes, I do think you're right that they're going to add some more things in, but it seems like the Wolves storyline may actually even go past half. We'll have to see, or at least some of them might. So we'll see what happens with that. I think they're going to fill it out quite a bit. They're going to turn the Wolves into a lot bigger of a group. In the comic books, the Scavengers were like a couple pages, like a chapter or something. Maybe not a couple pages, but when they were actually in it, it was hardly anything. We didn't get to know them at all. We didn't get to learn about them hardly at all. The Wolves in the TV series are probably going to have way more time. They're going to fill it out. They're going to have No Way Out be more time, and they'll probably put in some filler, like you said, another group or something in between, even though it's not really filler, because they could kill off a character that's important, like we saw with the Beth situation in season 5. So yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to see, something like that. Yeah, let's do a couple more. So great questions from him though, for sure. But yeah, I think your timeline's too fast. Some people have asked me to kind of go over that again. What I think, it's probably going to be 3 trades. So maybe I'll do a video pretty soon. I've already kind of done that, but we could talk about another Q&A of what point I think they'll get to by the end of the season. And I don't think we'll see Negan in that point. No, we may just start to hear about him, but I don't think we'll see him. Okay, next one's from Sheem Almighty. Says, hey Trev, I know you don't have time to watch each and every show that we request, but please check out Black Sails when the time comes that you want to find something new to watch. Just imagine Game of Thrones, but instead of castles, knights, and White Walkers, you have islands, pirates, and booty. Not what your dirty mind is thinking. I'm referring to treasure. Good one from Sheem. Yeah, no, I've heard of Black Sails. I know Larry from Otaku Assemble. He was doing that, and he's actually one of my favorite YouTubers. He doesn't really do YouTube anymore, but he did, and he was reviewing Black Sails for a while. And I saw it in his channel because I do subscribe to him through my other kind of personal channel. But yeah, I've never really seen it. I never really kind of got into it, never really had time. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of pirates and that kind of thing. So, but I could eventually, and maybe down the road, in 5 or 10 years or something, if I'm still, making videos on YouTube and nothing changes, I'll probably move more to start making a lot more videos and stuff like that. But we'll see how that goes. You never know. You can't plan that far ahead. But, that's something I'm hoping to do in the future, is to make even more videos, like to just do more, because I enjoy it. I love it. It's what I enjoy so much, in my life. It's my favorite work I've ever found. So to do more work on it, to cover more shows, and to give you guys my thoughts on more things, it's not something I would shy away from. I would love to do that. So maybe in the future, in 5 or 10 years, I could do that. I have such long time perspective. Some people get messed up with long time perspective. They start thinking, well, that's fine. Who cares? But no, it'll go by so fast. That's the thing. When you're busy, 5 years, it sounds like a lot. When you're busy, man, it's been 5 years I've been on YouTube pretty much. It's just flown by. It's like, where did it go? It's gone. So it's not that far down the road. So that's something I could think of later on, maybe doing some more shows with you guys. Something I would like to do. It's something I enjoy so much. So next one's from Brian Carmen. And he says, "Hi Trev, what do you think a walker would do to another walker if it got sprayed with human blood? Would it tear its fellow walker apart?" Well, I think you might be right if it's hungry enough that it might attack another one. I don't think we've ever seen that in the show where blood was sprayed on one and another one attacked another one. But you'd think that it might, if there was some kind of guts or something on it, that it may attack it. That said, though, they seem to only kind of want to go after the live bait, so to speak. There's something for you guys, live bait. Yeah. So D. Wills, this will be our last question, says, "Sup Trev, this is for Fear the Walking Dead. My thoughts on it: the scariest part of the story they're trying to tell is to imagine if this took place in real life. Even zombies aside, the rioting in the beginning on a large scale would be hell on earth to me." Yeah, you're right. Human survivors, even at the beginning, are probably going to be even more dangerous than the zombies. I would fear, not for me, but the things I would have to do to protect myself and my family. Can Can you dig where I'm coming from? Evil, crazy people do exist, and these are the people you would have to kill without hesitation, or they would kill, rape, rob you and your loved ones. If you truly had to live in a world like that, could you honestly do it? I could, maybe for a while, until, like Rick in The Walking Dead, I imagine any good normal person with a conscience would have to let some of their humanity go to survive. That truly would be an ugly world. Someone would eventually kill me, I'm sure, but I want to go out protecting my family, a warrior's death, LOL. Anyway, take care and be safe, man. Shout out from Cincinnati, D. Williams, or D. Wills. Great, absolutely, really insightful question. What kind of question and comment too on his thoughts on what he would have to do if a zombie apocalypse were to happen in real life, what it would be like. I almost want to save that for another video because I want to give thorough thoughts on that, and it could take a little while for me to go through that. But you're absolutely right. Is that this is the saying? Morals and ethics are a privilege of a rich society. So if you are in a society which is different, that is war-torn, or that is, we are raised and we are brought up to be good people because it creates a great society when everybody is that way and you have peace and everything's going well. We lock up people who do wrong and hurt others because it hurts that society. But if you're in a hurt society, if you're in a war-torn or destroyed society, being too nice to others or being nice to others in that circumstance, in that situation, can be terrible. However, at the same time, if you have charisma, like Rick does, for example, and you are nice and you give people a chance, you can get their buy-in, they can become part of your team, and then you can, they can help you survive, right? So it's tricky. You can go one way or another. You could go the governor route where everybody hates you but listens to you and does what you tell them to do because they're scared of you. You could go that route, but you may get overthrown at some point. Somebody may kill you, or somebody may just hate you and try to kill you. So it's pretty tricky. It depends how hungry you are, and once people get hungry enough, they would start to turn on each other very quickly. So it's there's a lot of dynamics to it, and that's something that we see. One of the best parts of The Walking Dead is we get to see that kind of analyzed, played out from a realistic sort of, not totally realistic, but pretty serious perspective where it takes itself seriously, and we get to see how different characters would survive or would do in those set of circumstances for the most part. But something like Game of Thrones is a great show where you get to see kind of the real world of how those type of things would play out. I know it's a fantasy series, there's fantasy involved, but just because a character is good, we tend to think they're going to be victorious, when really that has no bearing on whether or not they're going to win. If they're, we think the good guy's going to make it because we've read, 100,000 stories of the good guy winning. In that type of circumstance, not true. Whoever's going to win is going to win. The variables are not about who's good or evil. That doesn't matter. It's about who actually is going to win. If you get into a gunfight and one person pulls the trigger against another person in real life, it doesn't matter if one person's a better person than another. There's no kind of creative force in the universe that comes in and stops the gun from going off and has the other gun go off. Some people do kind of believe in that kind of stuff, but if you look at a lot of if you look at history, human history and war and all these things, in real life it's just not true. So sometimes the real world is an even darker place than people tend to think that it is, and you definitely got to take care of yourself. And when it comes to situations like that, being a really good person really doesn't help you much. But in regular society, the society that we live in now, as long as it doesn't crumble, being a good person is very beneficial to people thriving, surviving. I mean, if you're not a good person, you steal or you do these things or you break the law, odds are you keep doing that behavior, eventually you'll end up in jail or this kind of thing. So yeah, it's very deep question there, and very deep topic, one I could do a whole video on. So anyway, I won't go on for too long. That'll be it for today's Q&A, kind of a random one, just different random questions from you guys. Can't wait for season 6. Keep up the great question, guys. Keep sending me what you got, and I'll go through them with you. I always enjoy talking with you guys, and this is the best way to do it. So write your comments below on what you guys thought about these questions. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share, please favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can go and subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you again for another very soon. As always, it's Trev saying peace.